The world had just emerged from the horrors of World War II. Victory was shared, but a new conflict quickly emerged. The Cold War was a different kind of battle. It wasn't fought on battlefields with tanks and guns. Instead, it was a war of ideas, of ideology, of fear. On one side stood the United States, a champion of democracy and capitalism. On the other side was the Soviet Union, a communist power that had risen from the ashes of war. The two superpowers, each possessing nuclear weapons, viewed the other with suspicion and distrust. A global chess match began. The Cold War was about influence and control. Both sides sought to spread their ideology and secure their place as the dominant global power. This struggle played out on a global stage, affecting countries and people far removed from the halls of power in Washington and Moscow. The fate of the world hung in the balance. Throughout the Cold War, several critical events brought the world to the brink of nuclear war. These flashpoints served as stark reminders of the high stakes and the ever-present threat of annihilation. One such event was the Korean War, which began in 1950. The Korean Peninsula, divided after World War II, became a battleground between the Soviet-backed North and the US-supported South. The war, a bloody stalemate, lasted 3 years, and ended with an uneasy truce. It was a proxy war, a microcosm of the larger Cold War struggle. Another pivotal moment came in 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis. The Soviet Union placed nuclear missiles in Cuba, just 90 miles off the coast of Florida. The world held its breath as US President John F. Kennedy and Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev engaged in a tense standoff. For 13 days, the threat of nuclear war loomed large. Finally, a deal was struck. The Soviets agreed to remove the missiles from Cuba, and the US promised not to invade the island nation. The Cuban Missile Crisis was perhaps the closest the world ever came to nuclear war during the Cold War. It was a chilling reminder of the fragility of peace. The Cold War was a battle of ideologies, but it was also a clash of personalities. Larger-than-life figures like John F. Kennedy, Nikita Khrushchev, and Ronald Reagan dominated the world stage. Their words and actions shaped the course of the conflict. Kennedy, young and charismatic, represented hope and a new generation of leadership. His firm stance during the Cuban Missile Crisis earned him respect, but his assassination in 1963 sent shockwaves through the world. Khrushchev, the Soviet premier, was known for his fiery speeches and unpredictable behavior. He was a staunch communist who believed in the Soviet Union's destiny as a superpower. Reagan, a former actor, brought a Hollywood flair to the presidency. His tough stance against the Soviet Union and his commitment to military buildup helped to accelerate the end of the Cold War. These leaders, along with many others, played crucial roles in shaping the narrative of the Cold War. Their decisions had global implications affecting the lives of millions. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 marked a symbolic end to the Cold War. The Soviet Union, plagued by internal problems, collapsed in 1991. A new era began, one seemingly free from the threat of nuclear annihilation. The Cold War may be over, but its legacy continues to shape the world we live in today. The geopolitical landscape, with its alliances and rivalries, is very much a product of that era. The threat of nuclear war may have receded, but the proliferation of nuclear weapons remains a serious concern. The Cold War was a defining chapter in human history. It was a time of fear and uncertainty, but also a time of incredible technological advancement and political maneuvering. Understanding the Cold War is essential to understanding the world we live in today. Its echoes can still be felt, reminding us of the importance of diplomacy, the dangers of unchecked power, and the enduring human desire for peace. The Cold War in space. The space race was a significant aspect of the Cold War. It was a competition between the United States and the Soviet Union to achieve superior spaceflight capability. The launch of Sputnik by the Soviet Union in 1957 marked the beginning of this race. The United States responded with the Apollo program, which ultimately led to the moon landing in 1969. This chapter will explore the key events and figures in the space race, highlighting the technological advancements and the political implications of this competition. The space race was more than just a quest for technological supremacy, it was a battle for ideological dominance. Each successful mission was a symbol of national pride and a demonstration of technological prowess. The world watched as the two superpowers vied for the ultimate prize mastery of space. Key figures like Yuri Gagarin, the first human in space, and Neil Armstrong, the first human on the moon, became global icons. Their achievements were not just personal milestones but were emblematic of their nation's ambitions and capabilities. Behind these astronauts were thousands of scientists, engineers, and visionaries who pushed the boundaries of what was possible. The space race also had profound political implications. It fueled the development of new technologies, many of which have become integral to modern life, from satellite communications to advancements in computer science. It also served as a powerful tool of propaganda, with each side using their space achievements to promote their political and economic systems. In the end, the space race was a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of progress. It was a chapter in the Cold War that left an indelible mark on history, reminding us that even in times of conflict, the quest for knowledge and exploration can unite us in ways we never imagined. As we look to the stars today, we are reminded of the incredible journey that began during the Cold War. The legacy of the space race continues to inspire new generations to explore, innovate, and dream beyond the confines of our planet. The Cold War's influence extended far beyond politics and technology. It permeated the very fabric of everyday life, leaving an indelible mark on global culture. This chapter delves into how the Cold War shaped literature, film, music, and art, reflecting the era's intense ideological struggles. In literature, spy novels like Ian Fleming's James Bond series and John le Carré's espionage thrillers brought the clandestine world of Cold War intelligence to the masses. These stories, filled with intrigue and danger, mirrored the covert operations and psychological warfare that defined the era. They captivated readers, providing a thrilling escape while subtly reinforcing the prevailing political narratives. Cinema, too, was not immune to the era's tensions. Films like Dr. Strangelove and The Manchurian Candidate explored the absurdities and paranoias of the Cold War, blending satire with a stark critique of the geopolitical climate. Meanwhile, Hollywood blockbuster Top Gun glorified military prowess, serving as both entertainment and propaganda. Music became a powerful medium for protest and expression. Folk singers like Bob Dylan captured the spirit of dissent with songs like Masters of War, while rock bands like the Beatles and Pink Floyd infused their lyrics with social commentary. Even classical composers responded, with works that reflected the era's anxieties and aspirations. Art, in its many forms, also bore the imprint of the Cold War. Abstract expressionism, championed by artists like Jackson Pollock, became a symbol of American freedom and creativity, contrasting with the Soviet Union's state-sanctioned socialist realism. These visual pieces were more than mere aesthetics. They were ideological battlegrounds, each brushstroke a statement of resistance or conformity. The cultural artifacts that emerged from the Cold War era were not just products of their time. They were powerful symbols that spoke to the hopes, fears, and dreams of a generation. They continue to resonate today, offering a window into a world where art and politics were inextricably linked. In examining these cultural legacies, we uncover a deeper understanding of how the Cold War shaped not just the world of yesterday, but the world of today. The echoes of that tumultuous period still reverberate through our books, films, music, and art, reminding us of the enduring power of culture in times of conflict. As we reflect on this cultural impact, we see that even in the darkest of times, human creativity and expression can shine through, leaving a legacy that transcends borders and generations.